Hi, I'm Richard Wheeler. This is Richard Wheeler Works. It's a Twitch stream where I work. And we're still following this track that I've been on for a while, looking at the world of reconnaissance, surveillance, and through that, the world of intelligence, the world of watching and looking, and trying to demystify it and say what is really secret about this world. Is it really so secret? Is it exactly like what you saw in Enemy of the State, for example? Probably not. But how not? And what can we learn just through looking at things on the internet? For example, YouTube, Instagram, the places where you're probably wasting an inordinate amount of time today, because we all are. But is there anything of value in there? So, I just want to jump into something that's going to become a multi-part mini series inside the series of the If I Could See What You See viewing party. That's what we're talking about here. And that's looking at comparing, doing a real world side by side comparison of an actual document that was controlled for some reason. We'll just say controlled at this point. And then what we can find out looking at open source material. So let's go over here. And the other day, let's go to previous episodes here, if I can figure out how to use the tool properly. And go to not this first episode, but I think it's this one, episode 4. Because we were looking at different, just mute this for a second and scrub through. We were looking at different things on Instagram, and there was this thing that we saw about I think it's called SPRC. Is that here? Maybe it's episode 5. Now we're getting super meta. We're referencing our own stuff. No, that's the 13th RDP again. Where was that? I want to show you this specific image because it kicked off some research that we're going to look at here today. Let's go over to Instagram. We can find that way. Instagram.com. No, excuse me. Here it was. Sorry. Can't even keep track of this myself. I have too many episodes. All right, so it's this image here. Stay Patrol Camera Course, or STA, it's probably not Stay. What is this, right? And this is from the Royal Artillery of the British Army. And here we go. Part of a continuation training, initial content, all special observers conduct this defense school photography, and then there was something else here. The next SRPC. Okay, so what is the SRPC? Right, I asked that at the time. That's what we're going to look at a little bit here. Can we figure out what the SRPC is? Now, in doing some Googling around about that, I did find something the other day that was on this site called What Do They Know? So this is a aggregator for information that comes out of Freedom of Information requests from the United Kingdom. There are different Freedom of Information laws in different countries. FOI in the UK is different to FOIA, Freedom of Information Act in the United States. I've used neither. Part of this project for me is trying to figure out what you can do without engaging the FOIA process. But if we go in and we put 473 Sphinx, we should come up with a document that, well, no, that's not helpful, is it? No, it was, well, now we've run up against the issues of their own internal, about 7. Gosh, where was that document? Okay. Let's back up here for a second. 473 Sphinx. Sphinx. I basically just put this directly into a Google search. Right? What is this? The 473rd Sphinx Special Observation Post Battery Royal Artillery is a special mission. It's a unit with a special mission. Some people might say it's a special missions unit. I'm not going to debate that. That's tasked with doing a lot of surveillance within the British Army. And I'm getting a phone call that I'm not going to take. I'm going to turn off that speaker. SBRC. Oh, where was this document? Oof, I found something I wanted to show you. Why can't I find it? Okay. Oh, maybe it was that thing. Hold on, let's go back here to 473 Sphinx. I think I had found what I was looking for, and I just screwed it up. Yeah, maybe this is it. Okay. No, Pathfinders. Boy, I'm just a jumble sale here. 2019 DIN 07, 2019 DIN 07. Trying to find this document. What I'm trying to do here is find a specific document that selection of personal post operator attitude. What does this even mean? No, I'm not interested in. I mean, I am interested in Pathfinder selection. That is indeed something I'm interested in. But this is not the document I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's man, the indexing on What Do They Know is awful. I will tell you that. That is not helping us one bit. All right, let's try it this way. Because what I'm trying to show you is a document that I found that is, man, this is just terrible. That is about the SPRC course. And what I want to do is go through showing you an A and a B test. Like, what is the chance of finding this document? What is the chance of finding the information that is in this document just looking at, there we go. Man, what a chore it was to find this. All right, volunteers for 473rd Sphinx Special OP Royal Artillery. And here is a document which I'm not going to look at all. I'm just literally scrolling through, and there's some things that are redacted that looks basically just like some people's names. Not very much is redacted here. But it's showing you what happens. This DIN provides details on the SRPC. So, okay, we have a document here that is going to tell us what this thing is. This document, an official government document, it has been acquired through Freedom of Information channels. It's available on the web. It clearly takes you a while to find it, or me anyway, even though I know what I'm looking for, supposedly. I have it downloaded to my hard drive somewhere. But let's say we didn't have that. Let's say we're just saying we found this thing called the SRPC on Instagram, right? Here it is again on Instagram. And we're saying, well, what is that, right? As I did the other day when I was looking at this, I was sort of befuddled and confused and had never heard of that. So we're going to start from scratch. We're going to look at, first we're going to look at Instagram. And I'm going to do it here. I'm going to do it, I'm going to do some, I don't know, sneaky maybe, not sneaky, just going to use the internet for what it's for. Close these things down. And that is, so, oh, hey, look at that. That's exactly what I like. Boom, the internet working for me. Thank you, internet. Notice on the desktop, it doesn't allow you to, it doesn't give you the option to put it into a specific topic folder. So I might need to go back and do something with that. However, okay, 473 Sphinx Special OP Battalion, Observation Post Battery. We lie hidden. Interesting. Something I learned listening to the Unconventional Soldier podcast. Listen here. Listening to a interview with the officer who created 473 Sphinx, Major General. I don't want to get his name wrong. What is it? Major General. He's the very model of a modern Major General. His information practical. Major General A. Stone, CB, was that this dot here in the logo is moved up slightly off center to indicate that this is a special OP battalion. Anyway, little trivia. So let's go back to, however, the saved items I have. And saved items, come on, help me out. Thinking. Oh, what I was saying was that you can also, there's a way to, so I'm in the desktop view here, but if I go to inspect element here and view, so this is allowing you to look at the underlying code of a web page, which may be completely old news to some of you. It may be like, wow, what is happening here to others? But if you're, gets important the more you try to find imagery and video sources in web pages, because depending on the page, some of it may be locked for various reasons, and you're not able to just right click and download a JPEG or right click and download a video file. What do you do in that case? Sometimes you have to go into the source code and figure things out and know a little bit about how the internet works. One thing you can do here is this little button here that I just hovered over and that thing came up that said responsive design mode. If I click on this, it now puts it into a kind of mode like it is on, like it's on a mobile device, right? Take a screenshot. I don't want to do that. All right, so going over here to the main project and going, this is the subfolder I have that has images I'm interested in. So from this view, one of the things I'm going to be able to do potentially is, well, I'm not seeing any of the text. Let's see, let's go back to cancel. All right, that's good to know. That's what I'm trying to get to. Is I'm trying to say here, all right, so I have all this information here, and I'm going to start trying to record some of it and see, well, what can I learn about the SRPC? And this is all completely unstructured right now, right? I'm trying to still, I've seen this new thing. I'm fascinated. What is this new thing? I don't know. So let's see, how am I going to do this in a way that is useful? I'm just going to make a new Google Doc here quickly. Bring it over. Probably just the easiest way to record some information and show it to you as I'm working. Which is a little slow, because I'm trying to do a few things at once on my tired little computer. Okay. All right, so let's go back here. So we have this thing. Well, we know there's this thing called the 473 Sphinx Special Observation Post Battery. We've heard of that thing. We think we know there's that thing. Oof, slow. And I'm just picky about some fonts and things, so we'll just do that. And we know that there's also this thing called the STA Patrol Camera Course, right? And, you know, I don't know, maybe we'll do this just as a source, right? So that's where it comes from. So now when I hover over that, the post may come up. Anyway, it links to it. Maybe I'll do this just to organize myself a little. Well, there's this, this thing called STA Patrols. Well, I'm certainly going to go back at another point and copy all this. Because this is going to turn into some kind of, I don't know, set of grids and charts. Maybe I'll just cut all this out here right now, right? Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's a big chunk of text, right? Also, the way they format it for Instagram doesn't really go over very well here. Okay, so this is the thing. Maybe I'll say something like post, just to make sense of it, with like a small p. URL. And then I'll say here, these are selectors, which is just jargon that I use. So 473 Sphinx Special Observation Post Battery, STA Patrol Camera Course, Defense School Photography. Oh, you know what I should do here is I should have hash tags, and I should 148 battery. Do I subscribe to them? Do I follow them? Oh, I do follow them. Okay, that's another specialized observation unit. Ooh, and look, they all go in as... So this is the reason to do this part of interacting with Instagram on a desktop as opposed to a mobile device, right? Is the ability to copy and paste text. You're getting the URL, and it's like you're not able to copy and paste things when it's in your mobile device, but when you're on the desktop, you can. And look what we were able to do there. Right now, we have this list of hashtags all as links in and of themselves, and that's going to help us immensely. Let's see. These are selectors, meaning, you know, these are things I'm going to search on. That's what I'm, right. And let's just, what is SRPC? That's really the question here, right? And we're going to call this initial contact. Literally just making this up as I go here. You know, trying to make sense of this information from scratch. Defense School Photography, that's something I want to look at. Lateo Foundation. Don't know what that is, right? I want to know what that is. All right. That's some, unlike many other units, we take volunteers from all ranks across all three services in the Armed Forces for a 2-year assignment, or you have your option to transfer. For more information on how to become a reserve special observer, contact the HAC. And this is, we need to go back and verify who these selectors. Oh, this must be 473. I think this is 473 here, these selectors. But this is, all right, here. And that's HAC. And HAC is the honor. Are they spelling it honorable or artillery? Okay, British spelling, which would make sense. Honorable Artillery Company, London. Okay, so we got some basic information. We'll be able to go back to this at any rate, right? Could I go in and, you know, start doing calendars? Yeah, I might do that later. Okay, but okay, let's first of all go to this SRPC hashtag, right? That would make sense. Maybe people have already done some work for us. And we'll find some more stuff. And we seem to have a lot of pictures of Seiko watches. All right, maybe that's not so helpful. But here we're seeing a bunch of stuff which probably is helpful because it's stuff that we can tell relates to cows, maybe not cows. You know, your mileage will vary with hashtags, right? But well, let's go back here and see what we have. All right, already, boom, right? We're on to something. We're already, okay, took me like 10 minutes to figure out what we were doing. But here we are. We're like 10 minutes in and we found something. The first phase of SRPC is 3 weeks. There we go. Sorry, I was reading something you couldn't see. The first phase of SRPC is 3 weeks. So we're able to learn something here about the course from the jump. So let's see, I follow the Royal Artillery. Yes. They've mentioned, oh, they're reposting from STA patrols, right? The logo's down here for repost. Interesting. So, I mean, you know, with these hashtags, what I'm probably going to do is build a grid, you know, a table. I'll probably do it in Google Sheets that I'll start to relate, you know, which posts from which posters contain which hashtags. Why? I mean, it's just a natural thing for me to try to figure out like what are high value hashtags, what are you know, basically how the people who do the thing, how are they most likely to describe themselves and describe their work? Because then I'll be able to take those higher value or higher incidence or higher density selectors and pump them into another system, right? Once I've done this in Instagram, which, as I mentioned before, lower echelon elements are more likely to post more about themselves because there's less oversight, probably. You know, I'm going to find a lot about this unit now on Instagram because that's where they're recruiting. That's where they're trying to find the young soldiers, Marines, sailors, you know, members of the Air Forces to come serve in this unit. It's a multi-service unit, right? So they can recruit anywhere. Where the kids at? They're not, you know, on AOL Messenger. They're on Instagram. So, but this is where I'm going to be able to go and then inject these same selectors back into YouTube, back into the big internet, and see what comes out. So a few things I'm going to work on right now. Okay, one is I'm going to take this post and basically do exactly what I just did with the other one. I'm going to get just follow the same format here. Let's see here. I'm going to do like just do that and do a URL. I'm going to make this all 10 point just for the ease of formatting. And do that and make that. Okay, and I go post. And I mean, I suppose I could link in the image. That'd be nice. That, you know, maybe that would be nice, right? Let's see, how would I do that? I don't want to do that. If I go here, all right, so I just right-clicked on this, and well, if I view source selection, whoa, there's a lot of HTML here. Okay, no, that's not what I want. I'm gonna view inspect element again here. I don't know if I can link to this image. You may notice as I roll over different elements or different pieces of text here in the inspector, you see different highlighting in the original web page. It's because I'm navigating. You see how the HTML here is indented. This is the hierarchical structure of this web page that we're seeing here. So what I'm looking for is the link to the image. So one way is I can hunt through this. The other way I can do it is look at network traffic and just do images here and hmm. Let's see what happens here. I'm seeing some things that are blocked because it's probably like not wanting to let me see things. Instagram doesn't want it wants you to be on Instagram, right? It doesn't want you to do what I'm doing. It doesn't. Okay, here we're seeing some stuff. No, that's me. You see, as I'm rolling over this, I'm seeing some image. Okay. So if I save images, that's not what I want. I want to. I was trying to. There's a way to. Here we go. Copy URL. Let's see if that works. Aha. Okay. Well, here we go. So, I mean, I could download this directly to a server, but there's also, let's see, insert image by URL. We'll just do it like this for right now. All right. Okay, there we go. Really, there were two there, right? So we should say images and go back, and that was the one, and this was the other. These are the. So can you, I don't know if you can see, but there's the image size. This is 1080 by 884, and here's the same image, 640 by 524. So they're just showing you the multiple sizes that are available. Copy URL. All right. I should probably do that. That's probably useful to just make that URL visible. Insert. And I could change these sizes and all that. I mean, I suppose I could also probably make that link clickable. I could put this in a table. We don't get into all that. That's really not that interesting, right? Let me go back one more time and get that here. Copy URL. Okay. This is a lot of housekeeping, right? This is not, we're not doing much yet, but this comes back later, right? That we have all this stuff. We know where it is. Something changes. Something gets taken down. It's there. All right. So back to this. So let's do this. Let's make this a new page. And we're going to have the image again. And so, all right. Back to Yep, somebody likes Psycho watches. All right. Again, we're going to do this inspect element like we were just doing. And where were we down here? We were down. Oh, sorry. We're going to do network, and we're going to restart, or sorry, reload the page. And then this was down, SC content, LAX, down a bit, right? Other posts. Okay, copy URL. I'm gonna do that. Insert image by URL, that. Insert. Okay. And now, now we are getting down to brass tacks, finally. Where we're going to copy this part, right? A lot of the same stuff we saw before. Don't want that to be bolded. Hashtags. Sorry, I'm being picky. I don't want that to be capitalized. I don't know why. I'm going to copy out these hashtags, put them in, boom. And we're going to, yes, selectors. I mean, we could say we're just going to do new ones, right? Just for the sake of keeping things simple right now. So this is, well, let's call this source material or raw research just for right now. Let's say Instagram raw research. The reason I'm saying that is I want to make another document that I'm starting to keep track of the starting to make sense of it, right? Like just having the raw research is not. It's going to get overwhelming because we'll say Instagram raw research SRPC, and this is, we're going to say this is SRPC. This is like not finished, but you know, SRPC. Aggregated SRPC. Let's call it that. Again, I'm doing this on the fly. I don't have a. There's some things that I have more of a structure for. You know, more of a way I do things with video imagery. Like I have a folder structure. I have a kind of a workflow that things go through. This is a new space for me. So I'm making this up as I go. But what? So what do I want to take? So now I have two views into the SRPC. Well, this one really doesn't tell me anything. It just told me about it, right? Is it important to say this next SRPC begins? Yeah, that is important to me because these things will run all the time. This isn't like an online course you can just like log on and kick off whenever you want, right? It's available when the course space is available, when the instructors are available. Like there's a lot of dependencies. So one of the things that can be interesting about this, like how many people can go through a given course based on the number of how many people can do this thing. Like how specialized is this, right? That's a function in a way of how many people can go through the course. So if this is August 31st, end of summer, uh, that's the middle of a quarter, or it's not like, how does this break down? Are they running it once a month? Are they running it, Well, here's a question. When were these posts, right? Because this is saying SRPC begins 31 August 2020. It's later on now. But let's go back to these posts. May 26, 2020, and this one was June 11, 2020. Sounds like I should be putting the dates in here too, huh? Let's say date. This one was... this is how I do dates because computers can sort these better than other dating systems, and I just don't put slashes or hashes in there. So what can we learn by just adding this date? Well, one thing we know is that if the next course is August 31 and this is May 2020, then, well, the course meets on the end of the last day of the month, which seems likely, then there can't be a course May 31st. So it could be April. If that were true, then potentially it could run 3 times a year, right? It could run April 4, August 8, and December 12. Probably not starting on December 31st. So this course runs either 2 to 3 times a year. 1 to 3 times a year. That's what we know. Could run just once a year. We'll see. So I'm going to link to both of these. And this one was... that was 520. That course runs from... So I'll just write all that out that I just said. Previous course... courses start last day of month. That's a hypothesis. We need to see more. Previous course cannot have may have started, let's say, most recent previous course may have started on 20200430. Course may run 1 to 3 times per year, if yearly. I mean, it could run less than that, right? Per year. All right. Tells us something. Let's go back to this. No, not to the watches. Okay, first phase of the SRPC is 3 weeks. Let's say frequency. Structure. Let's see. So this is pretty typical special operations training beasting, which is the UK military term for it. Which is just physical exertion, physical pushing to physical limits. Indent this one more. Beasting and this ruck marching called yomping or tabbing. Tabbing for British Army, yomping for Royal Marines. So, all right, it's 3 weeks. We learned something. Pretty cool. Phase 1 complete. You didn't see me doing any of that. You just saw my face. I wasn't on there. All right, let's take a look at what I was doing. Sorry. Yes. Okay, so here it is. We've taken some of this material and taken it from this raw research and put it into this format here. So now we know a little bit about how often it may run. We're figuring that out. And we're figuring out what happens in it. So phase 1, here, phase 1. Which means that there are more phases, right? The first phase. Phase N. We don't know how many phases there are yet. Okay. I'm going to do an hour today. So we'll do another 10 minutes. Or really, we'll just review what we've done. I think we might wrap up a little before the hour. So where do we have? What do we have? Where do we find ourselves? We started with a post here from the 473 Sphinx Special Observation Post Battery. Remember, we saw this as repost too from the Royal Artillery, I believe, Instagram account, talking about something different, talking about the Special Observers 2-week Defense Photo School course, which covers the fundamentals of surveillance photography. I'm going to get to that as well. But in that, we saw this thing called SRPC. We're trying to figure out what that is. Still don't know what that means, right? Still don't know what that means, but we're learning a little bit more about it. And I think it seems pretty clear to me that if I go through the State Patrol's as much as going through pictures of Seiko watches and finding an occasional photo of a person doing a thing interesting, I'm probably going to go to the Stay Patrol's Instagram site, Instagram account, and look at what they post, because that's going to be important. You may recall that in as we were looking before through Instagram, we found on the French, I don't know, Forsterien. Can't remember who posted it, but there was a photograph of an operator photographing from a aircraft, and they called that ROIM, Renseignement d'Origine d'Image, which is this, right? That covers a larger, that's more like IMINT, or imagery intelligence, which, is a wider field. This is what I think in a lot of U.S. contexts and in a lot of military contexts you might call special reconnaissance. And what's interesting here is they have this term mobile air surveillance, or MASS, which is exactly what it says on the tin, which is great, but that might not be what everybody calls it. Also, I don't know if I would call it mobile air surveillance in different contexts. So one of the things I'm going to do about this, is take this image and relate it to that French image and other images I found of people taking pictures out the side of a plane or a helicopter, and say, well, what do they all call it, right? And who does that, right? Who gets that training? That's where it all comes back to, because maybe, 473 Sphinx doesn't talk about their mobile air surveillance training, but maybe, the 13e Régiment Dragon de Parachutistes does, right? And we can figure it out that way. But Stay Patrols is clearly the way to go in terms of saying, what is this thing? I mean, I think what we're going to do on our next stream is literally go through this post by post as deep as we can to try to pull out, again, what is the SRPC. And in doing that, we're going to find all this other stuff about, what the mission is and what the training is. Like, this is, here we have the Lateo Foundation, right? Like, all these things that they're mentioning, there's only so many things that they can talk about, right? Sooner or later, they're going to tell us what we want to know. Well, I'm Richard Wheeler, and this has been me working on Richard Wheeler Works. Hope to see you again soon.